From humble beginnings to automotive legend, this is the story of a man whose name became synonymous with speed and luxury. Join us as we dive into the life of Enzo Ferrari, the mastermind behind the prancing horse, and discover how his relentless pursuit of perfection crafted one of the most iconic car brands in the world. Buckle up, because this journey through passion, innovation, and sheer determination is just getting started. Chapter 1: Early Career. Born on February 18, 1898, in Modena, Italy, Enzo Ferrari was destined for greatness. He passed away on August 14, 1988, in the same city where his incredible journey began. This Italian automobile mastermind was not only a designer and manufacturer but also a racing car driver whose Ferrari cars ruled the racing world in the latter half of the 20th century. After World War I, Enzo kick-started his career as a test driver for a small automobile company in Milan. By 1920, he was hitting the tracks for Alfa Romeo. Fast forward to 1929, in his hometown of Modena, Enzo founded a racing team called Scuderia Ferrari. Fun fact, Scuderia means stable in Italian. Like a stable for horses. The team quickly galloped to success, winning championships with their Alfa Romeo race cars. Although Enzo was one of the many drivers in the team, he decided to hang up his racing helmet in 1931, but racing wasn't the only thing Enzo had a passion for. In 1923, he married Laura Garello, and in 1932, they welcomed their only child, Alfredo, who everyone affectionately called Dino, after Enzo's father and brother who had both passed away in 1916. With a growing family and a thriving business, Ferrari seemed ready to shift gears. Even after retiring from racing, Enzo's story was far from over. He continued running the Scuderia Ferrari alongside Alfa Romeo's racing program. By 1933, Ferrari's success and leadership were so impressive that Alfa Romeo handed over the reins, putting him entirely in charge of their racing efforts. Chapter 2: The Birth of Ferrari. The mid-1930s were a golden era for Ferrari, with roaring engines and racing glory. But behind the scenes, things were heating up between Enzo Ferrari and Alfa Romeo's leadership. By 1937, Alfa decided to take control and bought out most of Scuderia Ferrari, but they kept Enzo around as an advisor. Fast forward to 1939, and the drama peaked. Alfa claimed they parted ways amicably, but Enzo hinted he got the boot. Not one to be down and out, Enzo Ferrari, with a pocket full of cash, founded Auto Avio Costruzioni, AAC. But there was a catch. An agreement with Alfa Romeo meant Enzo couldn't use his own name or revive Scuderia Ferrari for a few years. AAC got busy building and fixing cars and even supplied the Italian military during World War II. Their first car, the Tipo 815, was a speedster rushed into the 1940 Mille Miglia. Sadly, both cars that entered didn't make it to the finish line due to mechanical issues. In 1942, Enzo had a hunch that Modena would be targeted during the Allied offensive in Italy, so he moved his company to Maranello. Turns out, he was right. Allied forces bombed Modena and twice hit his new factory. Despite the setbacks, Maranello became the heart of Ferrari, where their legendary cars are still made today. The big breakthrough came in 1947 with the debut of the 125S, the first car fully designed and built by Enzo's company under the Ferrari name. This beauty featured a V12 engine, a signature that would define Ferrari's cars for decades. The 125S didn't just turn heads, it raced to victory at the Grand Prix in Rome in May 1947, marking the start of a new era for Ferrari. Chapter 3: Success and Tragedy. Ferrari soon zoomed into the spotlight for its cars' blistering speed and top-notch quality. The company started racing under the Scuderia Ferrari name in Formula One, F1, the pinnacle of motorsport, in 1950, when the F1 World Drivers' Championship first kicked off. The 1950s saw Ferrari sports cars snagging countless championships, often leaving their rivals in the dust. But the 1950s were a perilous time in motorsport, and a series of tragic accidents claimed the lives of several Ferrari drivers: Alberto Ascari in 1955, Eugenio Castellati, Luigi Musso, and Peter Collins between 1957 and 1958, and Alfonso de Portigo during the 1957 Mille Miglia. The Mille Miglia tragedy, where Portego's crash not only killed his navigator but also at least 9 spectators and injured many more, prompted the Italian government to ban racing on public roads, ending Italy's most iconic road race. Ferrari himself faced manslaughter charges after the race. He was acquitted, but the final Mille Miglia still brought him glory. Piero Taruffi, despite being close to retirement at 50, drove a 315S to victory after Ferrari persuaded him to race. What is the Mille Miglia? The Mille Miglia was an epic endurance race on public roads between Brescia and Rome in Italy, covering about 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers. It took place 24 times from 1927 to 1957 before being banned due to its danger. Amid this turmoil, the Italian press compared Ferrari to Saturn devouring his sons. This harsh portrayal came as a cruel blow, especially since Dino Ferrari, Enzo's son, had died in 1956 at just 24 from muscular dystrophy. Dino had been a promising figure at Ferrari's company. He even designed the 750 Monza and was seen as his father's successor. His death deeply shattered his parents. Their marriage, already strained by Enzo's affairs, one of which with Lina Lardi resulted in a son, Piero, in 1945, suffered further, although Laura Ferrari stayed actively involved in the company. The late 1950s were thus a tumultuous period for Enzo Ferrari and his company, but Enzo clung fiercely to his core belief. Racing, he told the Times of London some years ago, is a great mania to which one must sacrifice everything, without reticence, without hesitation. This statement from 1962 resurfaced in the New York Times' obituary of Ferrari in 1988, highlighting the legendary status he had achieved by the end of his life. By then, Ferrari had evolved into a global luxury car maker with a rich sporting heritage, and Enzo Ferrari himself had become a larger-than-life figure known as the Old Man. While some critics dismissed this as that old Ferrari hokum, it was precisely this legend, forged in the fiery crucible of the 1950s and nurtured over decades, that made Ferrari the iconic brand it is today. Chapter 4, 1960s and Beyond. During the 1960s, Enzo Ferrari was revving up his company's roadcar business while his race teams experienced both spectacular victories and heart-wrenching losses. In the glamorous world of Formula One, Scuderia Ferrari clinched 2 Constructors' Championships in 1961 and 1964. However, the decade also saw tragedy as drivers Wolfgang von Trips and Lorenzo Bandini lost their lives in 1961 and 1967, respectively. Von Tripps's crash was especially tragic, claiming the lives of 14 spectators, echoing the tragic Mille Miglia disaster. On a brighter note, Ferrari cars dominated the legendary 24-hour race at Le Mans from 1960 to 1965, thanks to skilled drivers like Phil Hill. They also bagged several sports car championships. Want to know more about Ferrari's roller coaster journey? Check out his memoir, Le mie gioie terribili, My Terrible Joys, published in 1962. Fast forward to 1969, and Enzo Ferrari made a game-changing move by selling a 50% share of his company to Fiat SPA, which later increased its stake to 90% by 1988. Enzo remained at the helm as president until 1977 and maintained control over Scuderia Ferrari until he passed away in 1988 at the ripe age of 90. Under his leadership, the F1 team roared back to life in the 1970s, securing 6 Constructors' Championships from 1975 through 1983, before hitting a rough patch that lasted until 1999. Enzo's personal life also saw significant changes. His wife passed away in 1978, and he publicly acknowledged his son Piero shortly after. Piero, who had been working at Ferrari under his mother's surname since the 1960s, was named Enzo's heir. Owning 10% of the company, Piero adopted the Ferrari name and eventually became the company's vice chairman. Enzo Ferrari's larger-than-life persona has inspired multiple films. He's at the heart of Michael Mann's Ferrari, 2023, and portrayed as the formidable antagonist in Ford v Ferrari, 2019, among others. So, whether you're a car enthusiast or a movie buff, Enzo Ferrari's story is sure to captivate and inspire. From a small workshop in Modena to the pinnacle of automotive excellence, Enzo Ferrari's relentless passion and vision have left an indelible mark on the world. But remember, Ferrari is more than just a car, it's a symbol of daring dreams and unparalleled innovation. So, whether you're chasing speed, luxury, or simply a dream, Ferrari's legacy inspires us all to push the limits. What's your dream? Share it in the comments below and keep chasing it, just like Enzo.